guy making stuff in his garage with a poorly lit room. That's what I'm saying. How's everyone doing today? I am just making stuff in America. This is what's about, guys. Making stuff. All right, we got. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. I didn't bring the orders. This is just like yesterday. Come with me, guys. Come with me. I didn't. You gotta bring the orders, or else you don't know where you're making, or you make the wrong stuff, and it's all over. Oh, yes, yes, I got it. I didn't bring it all the way inside. All right, what's going on in the world today? I went to the gym. And I'm just getting into my work. I mowed the lawn earlier. That's always fun. Okay, sorry. Gotta get the charger in or else. Or else. Boop. Alright, sorry, I gotta get the charger in because I just want to run out battery. Camera angle's off. It's okay. I'm just some guy in the garage anyways. Alright, we're making stuff. We've got our orders. What's going on in the world today? If you guys don't know, I'm in California, and our governor, Gavin Newsom, has a podcast, and I was thinking about this today, and I don't know if you guys know, but there has been this movement, I guess, on the liberal side, Democrats or whatever. They're trying to find. Oh, hello, Julius. They're trying to find a Democratic, I don't know, a more left-leaning Joe Rogan, and I just thought that was pretty interesting thought process by them. Because if you guys watched Joe Rogan in the old days, he was very, very left-leaning, and then over time, it kind of just eroded onto him to move more to the right. I think I would say Joe's like right center ish. Um, and so every time I see Gavin Newsom, I think about join the MAGA movement. Hey, I feel like here's my thought process on the MAGA movement, okay? I feel like there are points that make sense, and then there are points. It's like with everything, nobody is full on. I guess some people are full on, but I say the mass majority of people are like there's some things that you like on this side, and there's some things you like on that side, and I think it's just crazy for you to kind of like like, oh my god, you're MAGA, you're ruining the world. No, no. It could, Julius, your comment makes me think about RFK. RFK, like there are some things he says that makes lots of sense. Like, oh, eat healthier, do all this, and then he's also like, there are things that he says. I'm more like, why? Why did you have to say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I'm trying to think exactly. Like, oh, the blue dye stuff. I'm kind of like, really? We, we need to be taking blue dye, like. And then I think the other thing that's very funny about the RFK thing is that most Michelle Obama technically was saying a lot of this stuff earlier on, right? Like eat healthier, eat an apple, you know, like Michelle Obama was literally saying a lot of the stuff that RFK was saying, and then and, the right side was like trashing her, right? And then now RFK is saying somewhat similar things, not everything, and then left side is like trashing him. So I'm not like, it's like common sense, guys. Eat your vegetables. Don't eat processed foods. It's like literally things that everyone knows already. We don't need extra people to tell you. It's a matter if you want to do it or not. So I don't know. And so back to what I was talking about with Gavin Newsom, and he is the most unlikable person ever. and he's trying so hard. He's trying so hard to be left side Joe Rogan. It's in a way you have to admire his commitment because he's got the. I think the problem, the other problem I see with Newsom trying so hard. Why is Gavin Newsom so unlikable? Okay, why do I feel like he's so unlikable? He is. I think in a way he resembles the problem of what the vast majority of Americans, at least for me personally, how I feel about Democrats is that he is very flip floppy. In a way, like why people didn't like Hillary, flip floppy. If this is what you believe in, literally, I feel like this is it. You just stay like Bernie. I feel like we missed our chance with Bernie. The more I go back and I like think about Bernie, I think about like how he didn't really change his position that much. I like that. In a way, if you break down Trump to his core, he's kind of like somewhat what you would expect Trump to be, right? People don't like the flip, you know, you know what I mean? Like people don't like that, and that's why I don't like Newsom because he is like I feel like if I put an idea into Newsom and tell him this is what the people want, he's gonna move to that side, and I don't like that. Like, if this is what you really believe in, this is what you should believe in, and if you know what I mean, like, yeah, see, Joe, you get it. We want to believe that the politicians that, like this is what you believe in. That's why, like, when I think about Bernie and he's like 80 something now, right, Bernie? And if you guys saw him on the Theo Vaughn's podcast, it was so sad. I don't know why I get emotional thinking about it that we missed our opportunity to have that moment for him. I don't know. I get emotional thinking about it. Like, oh, sorry, I'm trying to make this right now. Hold on. Gotta focus. But yeah, like I feel like they need to stand on what they believe in. And Newsom just goes with whatever's popular. Like all of a sudden he decides to have a podcast like out of the blue after the Democrats lose so badly. Like it's the most hilarious. I don't know, I think it's hilarious. Because they could have done this way before. They should have done this way before. And I don't know what I want to bring up old stuff, but like Harris not going on Rogan's podcast was a huge mistake. Like, I think the other thing is that the Democrats are searching for a Joe Rogan, right? On their side. I think the problem is they don't watch any of Rogan's stuff to understand his position. He seems like his position, if you watch and understand Rogan, he seems like a regular guy. The Democrats need a regular guy. You know what I mean? They need a regular guy. So people can relate to them. People can't relate to Newsom. I think he's really trying really hard. Go check if you guys have time. Check out Newsom's podcast and see in a way how unrelatable he is. Like this rich guy, this rich pompous guy that's interviewing other politicians and whatnot. Like what made Joe so popular is that it didn't matter what ideas you have. He just wants to hear you out. You know, like, oh, you think the world's flat? Why do you think the world's flat? It's not like, hey, the world's not flat, you dummy. You know what I mean? He's not trying to put his thoughts on it. He's just like, oh, You think this? Why do you think that? Oh, that's very interesting. And it lets people form their own opinions on it. And then people get angry about it with him, like, oh, why did you put this person on? It's like, well, you have to understand them. You know? Why do they think? Okay, right there, there needs to be a line somewhere on the BS. Okay. But I think you need to know where the BS yourself is for you to call it out. I don't know. I'll get there eventually. I know what you're trying to say, Joey, where you're kind of like, the flat earth thing is crazy already. And I know it's crazy. You probably know it's crazy. But why does this guy, where did the world, where did the, oh, that's a question I have now. Is that an American thing? Or do like do people in Europe have flat earthers too? That's how I wonder now. Does anyone know that? The the do do other parts of the world have flat earthers or only Americans have flat earthers? Because if only Americans have flat earthers, then that's an American problem. And we gotta look at that. You see? Like that's what I'm trying to say. You gotta understand what happened to this guy. Okay, flat earthers. So Joey's saying flat earthers are everywhere, but more in America. Okay, later on, I want to look this up. It could be also because, as an American, I don't look at other people's news that much to understand like if that's what they think. Like like how it is in America. We're just like we're doing our thing. We're too busy working like 80,000 hours a day, just trying to scrape by to wonder about other people's news. Like other people are like, oh, you don't care about our news. I don't care about your news because I don't have time to look at your news. Okay, I don't give a crap about what's going on over there. Okay, unless okay, I was talking about this yesterday. The French president prime minister guy getting, I think it's hilarious. And if you guys don't know, a little backstory about the French prime minister, president, whatever he's being called over there. His wife is, I think, 15 years older than him, right? And they're like grooming allegations. He was his professor, teacher at one point, and like, she, it's like you see the girl, like they see the sparkle in the eye and they see the potential, right? And they're like, she's like, that's the one. He's gonna carry me to the sky. And so if you guys haven't seen it, there's footage of him landing in Vietnam, and he gets whoosh, he gets like uh, and then there's this to rewatching. It's okay, dude. I know. Um, I was thinking about this. Okay. There have been allegations that she's actually a man, and she kind of like went to the other side, and now she's a woman. Her doing the on him, right, proves that she is a she, because no guy would ever do that in public. Like at least what I mean is they don't have that audacity to do that to someone in public, and to think that they can get away with it. Only a lady, a female, would think that they can do that to someone of such power and importance and get away with it. You know what I'm trying to say? Because sometimes they don't they don't care at all. They don't care who you are. I don't care how this looks. And then he comes out later. He's like, "We were joking." That that's what ladies say when they fall down the stairs. Like him saying that, "Oh, we were just joking." I feel like that made it worse. I don't know. I don't know. That it seemed it was all bad. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. The search for the lefty Joe Rogan, okay? Um, and I think the Democrats are trying to force it, You know, they're trying really hard. I think it's because they know that they only have so much time left to gear up for the next cycle, and they're like, we need to fast track somebody to Rogan status so they could do their own media run on these podcasts, right? Because I think next year, okay, the next cycle, they're not gonna make the same mistakes as Harris did by not going onto opposition. I don't even want to say it's opposition podcasts. It's just basically unscripted, flowy podcasts. You know, like let's just talk and see where it goes. I think that's the other issue that Democrats had. They're too old school, where everything needs to be planned and manicured. The other thing that people loved about Trump or like about Trump, and that I'm trying to, I guess, educate people on, is people like like they like him being him, even though it's crazy. Like sometimes he's crazy. They like that that's how he is. He's just like, I'm gonna do this, and you guys can't stop me. You know, they in a way the lefty side need that unscriptedness. There during the Harris press run, there was one time where she went a little like she like I guess she forgot where she was, and she started talking about her pew pews, you know, and people love that. But since a lot of the, I guess her managers or whoever don't like pay attention, they didn't know that people like that so much, and I don't know, it was just so fake. But they're trying to fast track it, and I'm like, you can't fast track this. This is like homegrown. People love certain things. People love Theo Vaughn. You think you can fake a Theo Vaughn? Theo Vaughn, he is just the most likable guy ever, and you cannot fake that. And it's because, but you know, sometimes what I wonder. Okay, let's. What do you got to say, Joey? I think there will be a left Joe Rogan. He's had time to build his career instead of let's hold Joe Rogan accountable when he's wrong. Okay, I can see that too. I I want to say. So you're saying in a way, just try to win Joe back, because if you watch some early on Joe stuff, he had some very. I feel like he still thinks these things. One of the things I really like that Joe Rogan said, if you want to still stay political, is that he thinks it's crazy that we have this popularity contest every 4 years, and like appoint a guy that doesn't know anything about anything. Like just think about Trump. Like literally, he doesn't know anything about anything, and like Biden doesn't know. I like he's the commander in chief, right? And they're like, what military training did you have? Think about like the old time Roman style, or even old time like ancient China, wherever. They had like they grew um guys, they raised them and taught them like military tactics and this and that to get into that position, right? We literally the the modern day style is literally like, we like this guy, and you're now in charge of the military, and you're like, what do you know about the military? Well, I know. Uh, let's just take Trump for example. I know real estate, and Gaza is prime real estate. This is what we need. Or Greenland is prime real. By the way, Greenland. I'm I'm gonna keep throwing this out there. Okay, there's only 50,000 of them. Denmark, Denmark. Let's make a deal. We'll give them $1 million each, and we could buy Greenland. I You do the math. I looked it up the other day. Greenland, if you Greenland is worth like, I think they said like upwards to 50-60 billion dollars, and I was thinking if you just gave $1 million, there's to each person on Greenland, there's about 50,000 of them. I wonder if you can get enough of them to defect and we could just take it. Or you think about it this way, okay? I think this is actually really funny. You know how Trump keeps talking about we're just gonna take Greenland? If you really think about it, okay? if you really think about it. If we decide to take Greenland, do you think the Dutch is going to stop us? Do they even have a military? Oh, I'm just saying, Greenland's going to be very important down the road. That's why he's talking about it. I think this whole talk about, like, oh, that's crazy. Well, it's because it's valuable. I don't know. We'll get there. Okay, back to. Sorry about the side topic. Okay, holding Joe accountable. I think that's one of the hard things about if you're a lefty. Maybe I feel like you need to, the left side needs to consolidate. Yeah, I don't know. He wants resources, but in the end of the day, okay, you got me thinking about this other thing. One of the most popular podcasts right now that's very left leaning is Midas Touch. They cover left, in a way. You can say that they're more left Joe Rogan, right? Because they're big media, but they only cover media stuff. And I've watched a few of the Midas Touch things, and my main comment about the Midas Touch that I don't like about them uh, is that the way that they cover news, what bothers me is that they're like, oh, there's a lot of times it's like they're like they say stuff, but it's like they it's not, it's like they're not, are you not an American? Like, I don't know, like, because they're like bashing, they bash Trump a lot, right? That's literally, if you go to their channel and you look at the thumbnails, that's literally like 95% of their content is just bashing Trump. But like, and they're like, oh, our brothers in Canada, or this is not, like, I get it, we want to be nice with our friends and stuff, but at the same time, you are an American, and you gotta think, you at least you gotta think like how a chunk of America thinks, where they're beaten down and they want America to at least feel like um, we're climbing back up. They're pushing out the content where America sucks. That's basically the content that Midas Touch pushes out, right? America sucks. But then it's like, are you not an American too? Don't you want America to do well? Like, at least, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta think like, you want us to do well, right? At some point, we gotta do well, and there's a lot of stuff we need to fix. Okay. Um. Okay. Back to holding Joe accountable. I'm trying to think, like, how would you hold him accountable? Because I think the other thing that's very hard, um, is it actually goes to the problem. Okay, it goes to the problem of actually the core democratic problem. Oh, not democratic. Yeah, Democrat problem is that there are too many fractions. And if you watch Bernie's interview on, I want to say it's Theo Vaughn or even the Flagrant, Bernie mentions this. Democrats have too many, like, different, like, little, like, problems, and they're trying to give them all equal weight. And you cannot give all these issues equal weight. Some things are just not, like, it just, people don't care about. You know what I mean? Like, for example, the trans thing. At the end of the day, if I don't, at least for the people that I've talked to, right? They don't care. You do you. You know what I'm saying? Or the LGBT, all that stuff, right? I don't care. What you do does not affect me. That's literally 99% of the people that I've talked to. Like, that's the mentality that they've had. Someone could correct me. It's literally, I don't care. You do you. As long as what you do don't affect me, then we're cool. Now the issue is that a lot of times they're trying to make it a big issue, and then it affects me, and then you care. Like the sports thing, right? I would have to say I also don't want women in like the trans women sports thing. It's pretty common sense. And I actually feel like if you talk to a lot of people, they would agree, right? You don't want men in women's sports. It's literally women's and men's. There's a huge difference. But then like I wonder, okay, here's another question, I guess. Do people in the trans community really care about that at all? Or is it the fact that they're like, I'm in this camp now and I gotta fight for that? Because it's literally like 0.01% of the time this even comes up. Um, you know what I mean? Where it's like there's a okay, so I'm going all over the place because I'm thinking about this. The trans men in the military thing. Is this a big issue? Do people really care about this at all? Or do people just make it an issue and people are like going on both sides and they're trying to like fight about it? Because I think I saw some statistic, it's literally like 0.5% of the military are trans. And then, like Trump's out there like, I'm making it illegal. And it's like, dude, I feel like anybody that signs up to go into the military to protect us all should get a fair shake. And it's kind of like, dude, they spent their lives doing this, and it's like, I don't know. Um, there's already a lot of women in the military. I don't know. I just don't see what is the big issue with the trans thing. Literally, you do you. As long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. You know what I mean? Um, so that's literally what I think about that. Like, and I think that goes to the core of the democratic problem, where it's like they have to at least like if you're thinking about like running, let's think pretend you're like a democratic politician, right? You want to get as many voters as possible, right? And the mass majority don't care about this issue, but because they care about this issue, like it's like, oh, it's frowned upon to ignore them. You have to incorporate them, and it's like, oh, that guy, you have to incorporate them, but this guy fights with this guy, and they're never on the same page. One thing about Republicans, as much as like one side does not like another side because they clash too, they all get in line. At the end of the day, no, it doesn't matter. Like I've seen it a gajillion times. So we're like let's say the religious side clashes with like the hillbilly side, because in a way it kind of doesn't make sense for them to be aligned together, right? Because one side's all about hate and whatever. I'm not saying hillbilly side. I want to say like the the Saludi side. You know what I'm saying? The Saludi side, right? Oh, that cares a lot about skin tones. And then you have the religious side that is more like, oh, like love everybody, the Bible Belt or whatever. And they should clash, right? But they don't because they get in line. Democrats, like literally, like there's that, and there's the LGBT side, whatever, and then there's like corporate Democrats, and they clash, and they're like, we don't like each other, and then they're like, now you're like scrambling everywhere. It's impossible. It's impossible. All that woke stuff really messed up everyone. It's like it's so bad. Um, it's so bad. But yeah, back to I guess everyone agrees. I don't know. I guess a few of you guys have mentioned it now. I guess it would be easier to maybe flip Rogan back. I feel like in a way he's starting to flip back a little bit. Um, and it makes me think about Elon. Elon made his money on liberals, right? Literally the green, and as slowly as time went on, he kind of like fractioned off, and I wonder if he's gonna try to come back or not. I don't know. We'll see. But people loved Elon, and now he's like the pariah of everybody. I think it's pretty interesting. I think instead of trying to get a new Joe Rogan, maybe you start off with a Theo Vaughn. I think a Theo Vaughn would actually make way more sense. I like Theo Vaughn way more than Joe Rogan. I think it's because Theo just like hits that perfect mix of like I don't know anything. You tell me, and it's fun, and he's funny about it. Rogan's I think like kind of like more macho man-y, like that's his style. Like, oh, I'm a man's man. Theo, I think can navigate between being more center. I don't know. If you guys know anything about Theo Vaughn, I feel like he's more of a center person because he's just like, I don't know what's going on. You tell me. um, but yeah, I just feel like that's a big problem. And Gavin Newsom, if you ever see this, you're not Joe Rogan. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. He's trying so hard. I, he's Gavin Newsom is putting out full on like ads. Okay, YouTube. You click on one video on YouTube, and next thing you know, your whole feed becomes that. I click on one Gavin Newsom video, and now my whole feed. I clicked on one. I clicked on one of those chiropractic videos where they adjust, and then my whole feed is now like chiropractic things. Um, and I'm like, no, no. Okay, one thing I have to say about chiropractors, okay? I feel like I don't know what happened with chiropractors, but their content now is getting crazy. Have you guys seen chiropractic videos now? Chiropractic videos now is like soft core. It's like literally soft core. Um, I don't know, because literally I clicked on one chiropractic video because like I like the crunchy like you know. I clicked on one, and now my whole feed is filled with chiropractic videos. And now, like literally, I was thinking to myself, like people send their wives and girlfriends to these people, and they're literally like, hey, they're like getting their hands. I saw one where he was literally had his whole face inside the girl's like area here, and he's like, oh, I think I have to adjust this. And I'm like, people send. Oh my god, I don't know. Chiropractic videos are getting insane. All right. Let's get. Sorry, I gotta catch up back up where. Okay, I said great. We should choose. Our president's like 3 course test. Oh, brain. Okay, body, and then a boxing match. Okay. You want the commander in chief to have a boxing match? Very interesting. I don't think. Okay, now I'm thinking of the presidents that we've had. If they had to. Okay. No, okay. I'm thinking Obama. Let's go. Let's take it back. The hardest one would be Obama versus. What was his name? The rich guy. Um, Rick Rami. That's a hard match. They're both young, and I feel like they were both in shape. That's a very hard match. Who do you think would have won? Obama or Rick Romney if they had a boxing match? We need some stats. we need to see like reach. We need to get some weight. How crazy? Okay. How crazy would it be? Okay, you think Rogan changed since he got to 300 million? I'm trying to think. Do you feel like he changed? I feel like he's somewhat similar. I still watch a lot of his material. I'm trying to think. Did he change? All right, here we go. This is the last one I'm making. Grillmaster. Okay, he changed over Spotify. Those are the dark times because I didn't watch a lot of this stuff when he moved to Spotify. So do you think he doesn't care as much anymore since he's already, in a way, he's very secure now. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. Ooh, I messed up here. There's this part here I messed up. I don't know if you guys can see. This is supposed to be taken out. I wonder if I should remake this bad boy, take the time to take it out, or leave it and it's just part of the design. I mean, it looks like it could be part of the design. Oh, choices. All right, you know what? I better just remake it. Let's just be safe. Okay, I don't want anyone to complain that it didn't look right. Okay, I mean, okay, here's the thing, okay? There's only one way to find out. We need to make... Okay, I'll take one for the team, guys. Spotify, if you're out there, give me... what was the deal? Original deal? 100 million. Give me 100 million. And let's see if I change or not. We're gonna, you know what? I'll do the science experiment for you guys. Don't worry. I'll take one for the team. Give me 100 million, and we could just document from now. And let's do it 3 years. Give me 100 million, and in 3 years, we'll just keep on going, and we'll see did I change or not. Because I'm under the illusion that, and I feel this way, money doesn't really change you. You know, there's that saying where they're saying like, oh, money doesn't change you. It just lets you be who you really are on the inside. And I feel that way a lot. I have to say this, okay? Okay, Joey, I agree with you on this. I feel like politicians are all scumbags. They're like, there's no way to put it where they're not scummy. Like, okay, this whole thing with the trade war, I've been talking about this a lot, is I feel like the tariffs going on and off all the time feels like some heavy duty insider trading stuff going on. But I mean, it is pretty predictable that maybe you could do it yourself too. Like you can get in on the action. I think Andrew Schultz talked about this on one of his podcasts, where he was saying that I think he was talking to Bernie about this, where back in the day, the Nancy Pelosi fund. If you guys don't know, Nancy Pelosi is the world's greatest stockbroker in the world. And there is a hedge fund. It's called the Nancy Fund. And all this hedge fund does is tail her trades. So they follow her trades, and whatever trade that she does, they do. Like literally, they probably have some kind of like bot that follows her filings, because when you do big trades, you have to do filings. They follow her filings. And they're like, oh, Nancy bought, let's just say Apple. Nancy bought Apple, we're buying Apple. Nancy bought this, we're buying this. And they would buy and sell with her. And they're up like 20% as well. So I feel like the whole tariff war is all like insider trading fugazi. That's what I feel like. Because if you follow it, right? When Trump announced the trade, he's reigniting the trade war with Europe, right? Stocks went down, and then what happened? He paused it. He backed off, and stocks went back up. And I'm like, I'm telling you, there's some backroom meeting or something. Like, they're like, hey, I need a little bit. Can you please just make an announcement real quick, and then in like 2 weeks, cancel? There needs to be a law that they can't buy stocks. Oh, I think, okay, the argument I feel like that they're always going to say is, this is America, everyone can do what they want in a way, that's why a lot of people come to America, or at least that's what we get taught, right? Where it's kind of like Americans are, freedom and stuff. So I think for you to tell somebody they can't buy stocks, is hard. I think that's a hard thing to pass. And think about this: who passes the laws? You know, like who has control of that? And it's kind of like, hey, you, it's like you telling yourself like, I don't want to make as much money anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you know how hard that is gonna be to pass a law for politicians not to buy stocks that when they're in charge of passing the laws, it's impossible. Impossible. I think the only thing they could do, you could say, is maybe you cannot buy. That's, I don't know. I can't see how they can like. You can, yeah. See what I'm saying, Joey. That would never pass. Like you gotta put yourself in their shoes. Why would you ever do that? You know, like I would never. Like I'll be honest, I would never do that if I was in charge. Ever, ever, ever. Oh, how did you guys have a chance to go through the beautiful bill yet? I thought some of the parts. Um, there was the part. I think it was the overtime, where I guess people thought that the overtime, no tax on overtime, was supposed to be monthly, right? You know, like they're just not gonna tax you on the overtime. But I believe um, someone can someone can correct me as well. Got this mosquito. Um, I believe they said that they are going to tax you on the overtime. It's just that when at the end of the year when you file your taxes, you might get some of that back as a refund. So I thought that was very interesting. There was this part where someone was saying about the tips, no tax on tips. Ooh, did I hear about betting on political races? Okay. Betting on political races is actually pretty interesting. I feel like the betting stuff. Okay, what I think about betting now, I think about the younger generation, right? And how they're growing up with DraftKings and Prize Picks and stakes, and I don't know anything about stakes. I know I do some Prize Pick stuff, and then I do a little bit of DraftKings. But what I find very interesting about this newer generation that I was thinking about today when I saw an ad read for stakes is that you're down the road. I wonder if down the road the plan is to get us all to just like I don't know. I feel like down the road I feel like we're all just gonna be out of. I feel like the Wally world is slowly coming together. In Europe, they are. You can now bet. Oh yeah, let me think about this for a second, Carla. You can now bet on local elections and stuff. I feel like the odds are pretty good though. Like you have a 50-50 chance. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty interesting. Oh my gosh. You know what I think about this though? I remember during the election, right? That's when the political betting stuff started really becoming popular, right? And I remember the odds of Trump winning. Someone could correct me if they remember, but it was like really low. I thought it was really low, and I should have put some money on it. To be honest, I just don't like to. I think I just didn't feel like that confident in it, but I had the feeling. But I guess people say, hey, if you're confident in it, then you should put money on it. I had a feeling back then. I knew Trump was going to win. My in-laws were so certain that Trump was going to lose, and it's because they're not in the. I guess they're not on the internet as much. They only watch like mainstream media like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, whatever, and they were so certain that Trump was gonna lose. And I was like, no, you're not on the internet. You don't know. On the internet, I felt like Trump was gonna win for sure. Okay, so Joey, Okay, you might remember. I remember the odds were low. Like it was a good. I remember if you put money on it early, it was like 20% chance that he was gonna win. It was very low, and I just remember saying like, "Oh, I had a feeling that whoever is making this up." Oh, I remember the mainstream media. They were in on it, and they were saying like, "Oh, look at these betting sites. You know, like Kamala is so is in such a commanding lead or whatever that it's even the betting sites thought that that she is gonna win. I was like, do you guys not know how Vegas works? It's literally half the time they do those odds to trick people to bet on the sure thing and they pull your rug. All right, we're gonna fix this because I don't feel good about sending out this person this apron and have it not look right. So we're gonna trash that. We're gonna eat that. Made in America, guys. Made in America. It's gone. All right. All right. And I guess you want to get real serious about the trade war stuff. We're so far off from bringing manufacturing back to America. It's funny. I don't know. It's not. I don't feel like it's possible. All right. Remade. Remade. Right. And then, so you had to take that part out. Boom, boom. Sergeant Tori, your apron is done. All right. All right, all right. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. Sorry, I had to take a picture of this apron, and it's because. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. Sorry, I had to take a picture of this apron, and it's because the person that bought it. I don't know why. You guys can tell me. The person who bought it wanted me to send a picture of it before I shipped it out, and I was thinking to myself like, Sergeant Tori, if you ever see this, you bought it. I'm shipping it. You're not getting it back. Like, there are no refunds, okay? No refunds. I don't care. I don't know why this person wants a picture of it before I send it out. I don't care. It's a custom thing. I am not. I repeat myself. I am not taking a refund on it because it has your name on it. If I refund it, what am I supposed to do with it? I don't know anyone named Tori. That's crazy. Okay. Okie dokie. Sorry, I gotta. Okay, we're back. Okay, back to what we're really talking about. Holding him accountable. I feel like what pushed Joe. Just think about the whole. Wait, the aprons themselves are made in China. The design work I do, and I print it and stuff myself. I do all the design work. Um, you know, they're okay. Back to what I was talking about with Joe. Okay, just think about, for example, the Israel Gaza issue. It doesn't matter which side you land on that. Democrats will attack you. You know what I'm trying to say? Where Democrats are on Israel's side, and Democrats are also against the Gaza. You know, like they think it's inhumane that the Gazans are getting basically wiped out, right? Palestinians are getting wiped out. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you're a Democrat, would I be affected by tariffs? Everyone's affected by tariffs. Luckily, I pre-bought. What I do is I buy a bunch of stuff one time, and I just happen to get lucky enough that I bought stuff before the tariffs went in effect. So I actually have a bunch of inventory. And even during the pandemic, I got lucky
that I bought a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you guys don't know, I buy and sell stuff. That's basically the gist of it, right? And I had a whole warehouse, and we just refreshed. I filled up the whole warehouse. I had a 6,000 square foot warehouse, and it was filled with stuff. And the pandemic hit, and remember during the pandemic, all the cargo and stuff got halted and whatnot. I didn't get affected by that because I had all the stuff already with me. And some of my buddies, they were having a hard time. And right now during the tariff war, I have a bunch of stuff, and because I cycle in inventory. Some people cycle in inventory weekly, some monthly, yearly, whatever. Uh, the way that I operate, every 2 3 years, and it just happens that I'm still within that time frame. Oh my gosh, my friend, they're in the garment industry. He said that they get shipping containers in every week, and he sells to what he does is he basically white labels. He makes clothes for Nordstrom, Apostle. That's not a brand that I buy. Is it Apostle? That brand and a few other brands, right? He makes clothes for them, and he said that before this is before I talked. The last time I talked to him was before they lowered the China tariffs back down to 30. Um, he was going to lose 100K every week or something like that. And I was like, dude, you're screwed. And he was, see how my hair is thinning out? He was losing hair like crazy. He was like, dude, I have until July, and if this doesn't get resolved by July, he was just basically going to be completely dead, right? And it got resolved, and I think I mentioned this a few times before. The where the tariffs are right now with China, the 30% is nothing. It's literally nothing, because it was at 20% before, and then now they just raised it to 30%, and I don't know where this doesn't get home to people. And I do import stuff. I pay. I'm in America. I'm an American. I pay it. Okay, like literally, there's no way around it because it gets charged uh, when you import it in. But I'll say this: one of the ways, and this is an old tactic. This is where I say that this additional 30% or 10% is nothing. Is that in the past, and I don't know if, in the past what a lot of people have done before is they just mess around with the invoices. If you know what I'm trying to say, where they would just lower, let's just say something's $1, the factory will send you an invoice, even though you paid them $1 for it. They'll send you an invoice that says it's let's say 70 cents. Nice sideburns. No, dude, actually have to cut these. What I do is I let my hair grow out for like a month, 2 months, and then I cut it one time. It's called saving money. I don't know. I don't understand. Now some guys they cut their hair like every week. It's too much. You're doing too much. And so yeah, what you would do, what the factory would do, even though you let's just say you paid $1 for something, what they'll do is they'll send you an invoice for 70 cents. This is if you have a good relationship with them, and then you give that invoice saying that it's 70 cents to the customs, and then you pay taxes on the 70%. You see what I'm trying to say? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the tariffs where it is now is might as well not be there. That's what's been done for many years, and I'm pretty sure I haven't imported anything for a while. Like I said, I do this. I cycle in every few years, but I'm pretty sure it's still being done because I didn't see anything that stops that. And there's so many things coming in. No one has time to really be checking invoices, okay? And how would they even know if this widget is supposed to be $1 and now you're getting it for 70 cents? They just think maybe you're a master negotiator, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? They're like, "Oh man, you're really good because I've seen these widgets for $1. You're getting for 70 cents." They're like, "Yeah," or something, maybe in 60 cents. Um, the the big issue was when it was at 100 something. Because how do you? I think that's the reason why Trump made it 100 something percent to begin with when he was really fighting with China. It's because how do you mess around with the invoice at 100%? It's like you're supposed to get something for $1. The tariffs are 100 something percent, right? And then how do you change the invoice to make it like negative? You're like, it's this this $1 item. I'm selling it to this guy for a penny, and they're like, a penny, really? So yeah, so you're still paying tariffs on just on 70%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no matter what, you're paying tariffs. It's always been there. I'm just saying that they can eat that additional 10% by messing around with the invoice. And that's what's been done a long time. I think the standard in the past was, let's say something's a dollar. I just did the 70%, 70 cents thing as an example, but what's been done in the past was like, let's say something's $1, uh, they'll do like, oh, it's 50 cents. You know what I mean? They mess with the invoice and you pay tariffs on the 50 cents instead of the full dollar, but you paid them $1. You already paid the factory $1, or what you do is you send 50%, right? You send the, like, let's say it was 50 cents, you send 50 cents, right? Or you send them the full dollar. I'm sorry, you send them the full dollar, and then they invoice you for 50 cents, right? They lowered it down. And then you tell people that if they ever investigate and look at it, and they're like, hey, you send them this much money, but the invoice says this much, and you go, oh, that's for another order, right? They're like, you know what I'm trying to say? Where they're like, if they ever get to the point where they're like, hey, this looks suspicious, put it up to an investigator. This item's supposed to be $1. We check your bank records. You sent them $1. How come the invoice says 50 cents? And then you'd be like, you know what? I paid them 50 cents and then I gave them another 50 cents. That's for the next order. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, that's for the next one. I just lumped it together in this one payment. And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then when the next one comes and they're like, "Again? 50 cents?" "Ah, dude, that's for the next one." And you just keep on going. Right? Just keep on going. That's how the people have gone around the tariffs before. So that's what I'm saying, where this extra 10% is nothing. I mean, it's something because no matter what, you're paying tariffs, but it's not as much as you think it's gonna be. Um, I do feel like, here's a I think a fun thing. Do you guys feel like shelves are gonna be empty down the road? I feel like there must be a something. I've talked about this before. I went to the dollar store the other day, and selection is slim. There's gonna be a small gap, probably like a month or two, where you're gonna start seeing less stuff. So my recommendation, if you guys are out there, for the next 2 months or so, just cut down a little bit until things get caught back up. If I'm in front of the computer, I could take a look at the ships that are coming out of they're coming in. But I just say that in the next month or two, just cut back a little bit, because prices are probably going to go up a little bit, and then maybe I'm just hoping maybe in like 2 months after the supply chain catches back up, it'll come back to down to normal. I don't know. Anyways, I gotta pack these things, and I'll be back later. My recommendation. Oh my gosh. Okay, Joey, guess what? The other day, I literally had this talk with my family. My wife was like, hey, maybe we should buy a bidet. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. I don't like the feeling of water up my butt. Right? I don't know. I just find it weird. And and then my mother-in-law was saying like, "Oh, that is weird," and she's thinking these things cost thousands of dollars, right? And you know how wives are. I don't know if you guys know how wives are, but they're price savvy. Girl math, retail girl math is a real thing, okay? And she was like, "Oh no, bidets, you can get an attachment just for like $100 now. You don't have to," because my mother-in-law was thinking you had to get a whole new toilet. And she's like, "No, no, no. You can get water. You can get water splashed in your splashed up there with just like $50 now. Like there's just like a little attachment." Okay, just think about of the world use how much of the world using and you'd be saving. Okay, I do agree with this. Um, and if you've seen my stuff for a while now, I've talked about this a while back. It's very interesting how much toilet paper women use. And uh, if you have a girlfriend or wife, um, when you get a chance, this could be a bonding moment. Ask her how much toilet paper does she does she use. I swear, my wife will roll like I think every single time it must be 1/5 of the roll. I think she goes over like it's like I'm trying to think like this thick of toilet paper. And she's saying like and I was like, it makes no difference, right? Between the second time you go around your hand, right? Just because you have more toilet paper cushioning does not change how much you're wiping, right? You know what I'm trying to say. Like it's like just because you're using more doesn't mean it's any cleaner. It's literally the same the same wipage, right? And then she looked at me like I'm like a crazy person. And I've asked this. Joey knows what I'm talking about. It's the same surface area, okay? It doesn't matter how much cushion you put. It's the same. Um, so I feel like if I got a bidet, I would save so much money. And if you really think about it, it is kind of dirty because you're just smearing it around when you wipe. I don't know. We're getting off topic now. But okay, I gotta get going. Thanks for hanging out with me, Joey. Thanks for everyone for hanging out. Um, maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I'll just give in. You see, this is how Joey, I feel like my wife sent you to plant the seeds for her to get the bidet. You know, sometimes you don't give enough credit to the ladies out there. They are master manipulators. I swear. Like sometimes. Oh, another fun fact about my wife. She has used up her holiday gifts, I think for the next 5 years. What she likes to do is she'll buy something that I think is outrageous. And she'll be like, "Oh, this is my Christmas present." And I'll be like, "It's July." And she's like, "Yeah, it's my early Christmas present." And I'm like, "Okay, so when Christmas comes around, you're not getting anything because you already used your Christmas present." She's like, "Yeah." And then when Christmas comes, she'll get something and I'll be like, "What the hell is this?" And then she'll be like, "Oh, honey, this is my Mother's Day gift. Getting it." And I'm like, "It's December." And she'll be like, "Yeah." And I'm be like, "Okay, so that means in Mother's Day, you're not getting nothing." She's like, "Okay." And then Mother's Day, she'll be like, "Oh, this is my St. Patty's Day gift." Like, it's never ending. And I don't know, I'm just a sucker, I guess. All right, see you guys. Thanks for hanging out.